So have you ever stopped to wonder why some ideas just explode onto the scene, are everywhere for a month, and then they just vanish, while other ideas, they seem to stick around forever? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the hidden physics behind it all.
Right? It's a mystery that's probably crossed your mind. You see a book or an article just dominate the conversation. It's all anyone can talk about. And then, a few months later, crickets. It's like it never even happened. But then you have these other ideas that just have this incredible staying power. So what's really going on here? What's the secret?
You know, a great way to think about it is the mayfly versus the tortoise. So you've got this political bestseller, right? It's timely, it's juicy, it's a mayfly. It burns incredibly bright, but its life is super short. And then you have the tortoise, something like Dale Carnegie's classic from way back in 1936, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It just keeps selling, decade after decade. It's not about which one is better, it's about two totally different kinds of ideas playing a different game. And the secret that separates them is this really powerful idea. It's event-driven. The big reveal here is that we've kind of been looking in the wrong place all along. The lifespan of an idea, it turns out, has way less to do with the actual topic and everything to do with the context surrounding it. This right here, this is the big aha moment. Think about it. Information all by itself is, well, it's just trivia. It's a bunch of facts floating around. But the second you connect that information to an event, bam, it suddenly has urgency. It has a purpose. It becomes a tool that we feel we need to understand what's going on.
So let's be clear about what we mean by an event. It's not just a big news story. It's anything, public or private, huge or tiny, that makes us feel a sudden, urgent need for information. It's the why that fuels our curiosity. An event is what flips the switch and turns us from being passive scrollers into active knowledge seekers.
Okay, so it turns out there are basically 5 main types of events that trigger this powerful need for knowledge. I like to think of them as the 5 cheat codes for capturing human attention. Once you understand these, it's like getting a backstage pass to why we care about the things we care about. And here they are, all laid out. We've got current events, cultural shifts, transformational periods, common situations, and finally, unexpected circumstances. As you can see, they run the gamut from these massive public things that affect all of us to these really personal moments that change our individual lives. So let's break each one down. First up, the one we're all most familiar with, current events. This is when a big news story breaks. You know, an election, a global crisis, a huge social movement, and we suddenly feel this deep need for more context than just the headlines can give us. The need here is immediate. It's urgent. We're trying to make sense of the chaos of the present moment. We want to reduce our anxiety about what's going on and be able to participate in the conversation around us. Okay, next up is the cultural shift. This is a much slower, deeper kind of event. It's not about a single headline. It's more like that feeling that the ground is shifting under our feet. A perfect example is the rise of AI or huge changes in the economy. So the need here is all about strategy. We're basically looking for a map of the future. We want to understand this huge paradigm shift so we can get ready for it, adapt to it, or maybe even figure out how to shape it. Now we move from the big public world into our own private lives. A transformational period is a major life stage, like becoming a parent for the first time, starting your own business, or heading into retirement. There are these constantly renewed groups of people entering these stages, all looking for the same answers. And the need here is so personal, so urgent. I mean, when you're going through a massive change in your own life, nothing feels more important than figuring out how to navigate it successfully. All right, so if a transformation is about changing who you are, a common situation is all about getting better at what you do. The event here is a recurring high-stakes scenario that you really want to master. Think about having to negotiate a contract or leading a critical team meeting. The need here is super practical. We're looking for a toolkit, right? A playbook that we can go back to again and again to help us improve our performance in these key moments that happen over and over in our lives. And finally, we get to what might be the most fascinating category. This one explains our obsession with these low probability but super high impact stories, like someone surviving a plane crash or climbing Mount Everest against all odds. We read these almost like a flight simulator for crisis. Let's be real, we're probably not going to climb Everest. We don't read these stories to prepare for that specific event. We read them to experience extreme problem solving from a safe distance, to see the absolute limits of human resilience. It's about building mental toughness for any crisis that might come our way. Okay, so we've got our 5 triggers. Now for the really cool part. Let's see how they all fit together to create what is basically a law of physics for ideas. This is where it all connects. So these 5 categories, they create 2 completely different kinds of interest from an audience. First, there's what you could call sharp, concentrated interest. It's like a flash flood. It's intense, it's massive, but it disappears fast. Then you have blunt, spread out interest, which is more like a steady river. It might be lower at any single moment, but it just keeps flowing forever. And this brings us to the golden rule of this whole framework. It's a fundamental trade-off, and it's so important. The more urgent and relevant an idea is to absolutely everyone right now, the shorter its lifespan is going to be. Basically, pertinence, how relevant it is, and volatility, how quickly it fades, have an inverse relationship. This chart just maps it all out perfectly. Look at the top row, current events. Their pertinence is extremely high. Everyone cares now, but that also gives them extremely high volatility. They fade super fast. Now, let's jump all the way to the bottom, unexpected circumstances. Pertinence for our daily lives is low, but that means their volatility is also extremely low. They're timeless. But check out the middle, because this is the real sweet spot. Transformational topics. They have high private relevance to the person going through it, but because new people are always entering that life stage, they have low market volatility, and that gives them incredible staying power. So what does this all mean? Well, this spectrum actually defines the game you have to play. If your idea is in that high volatility space, like current events, you're in a race. You're competing against all the other new ideas. It's all about speed and having a fresh take. But if your idea is in the low volatility space, you're not in a race. You're in a dialogue. You're competing with the classics. The challenge isn't being first. It's proving why your voice deserves to be added to this timeless conversation. Honestly, once you really get this framework, you just can't unsee it. It becomes this new lens for understanding everything. It's more than just a theory about books or articles. It's a genuine superpower for decoding our culture and figuring out why we pay attention to anything at all. So here's the one thing to take away from all this. The next time you see some topic just explode out of nowhere, stop and ask yourself a different question. Don't just ask, why is everyone talking about this? Ask the deeper question. What's the underlying event that just made this information feel essential to millions of people all at the exact same time? Because that, right there, is the real story.